Technically speaking, D2 International is an international skill-based service and talent development program. In other words, we're a group of professionals who recognize that we're part of a larger global construct, who have skills that we want to contribute to developing our world, and we want to be able to develop those skills in the pursuit of new solutions.
So D2I is an organization or a program run by analysts and consultants. It is the most impressive group of analysts and consultants I have ever worked with. It was well run, as though they'd had a lot of experience with it, and I think that really speaks to the passion with which they moved forward. And I am not only impressed with what they brought to the table in terms of the amount of forethought they put into the planning process, but additionally, I think it gave them a chance to stretch their wings and will help them as they move into roles as consultants, senior consultants, and ultimately managers. They actually now have project management and execution experience, and they've worked with diverse teams. This was a group where we had practitioners, male and female, from human capital, strategy and operations, and technology. We had very technical skill sets. We had training-oriented skill sets. I think they grew an appreciation for what the other one brought to the table and an understanding of the offerings that Deloitte Consulting has, especially in that federal market space. And I think they really took the diverse backgrounds. One spoke Spanish, one had never been out of the country, another one grew up in Nigeria, and they brought those backgrounds, the understanding of what it meant to be in the developing world, what it meant maybe to grow up without having running water and as hot electricity as you wanted all the time. They brought in the backgrounds that said, well, what I really want to do is process efficiency. How can I apply this to a developing world setting?
I'm Sally D'Amato, and I'm an S&O principal in Federal Consulting of Deloitte. I'm also honored to be the D2I champion for the pilot program to Guatemala. It was really Russ initially that approached me a couple years ago and asked if I would be interested in serving as a PPD champion on the program that ultimately was called D2 International. And my first impressions were great idea, energy at the analyst and consultant level, fabulous concept. And the question was, can they flesh it out? Can they make this real? Can they make it a talent initiative, but also an initiative that actually has an impact for Deloitte's business? Those were all questions in my mind, but I went with it, I supported it, and I'm so proud I have.
When Russ first approached me with the idea, I was a little skeptical, understanding large international institutions and how hard it is for innovative thinking or new things to take off. I was really impressed with Russ's stick-to-itiveness, and he kept saying, have faith that Deloitte is a special and unique institution, and even though it's huge, it can engage in innovative and new thinking. And we were very impressed that that is quite the case.
It was amazing when we talked to so many PPD leaders at the executive level and then across the different segments of Deloitte, federal, and then the service lines and the functions. Everyone that we spoke to, we gained greater momentum with their enthusiasm and support.
We partnered with Guatemala, the Highland Support Project, and Asociación de Mujeres Anteplanos, or AMA, for 3 reasons. The first was the social issues. HSP and AMA have been championing female empowerment and local entrepreneurship for more than 20 years. And these issues are important and were ones that we could contribute to and learn from. And the second reason was the business value. Working in Guatemala was an incredible learning experience to develop solutions, to understand the region, as well as to connect with our Latin American member firm in Guatemala. And the third and final reason was the philosophical and mission alignment. that HSP and AMA at their core have always been about empowerment. And we connected very strongly with this notion that we didn't want to deliver solutions that we dropped by. We wanted to build tools and exchange ideas that could actually be used. If without that philosophy, none of it would have worked.
This week was amazing for us, working with Deloitte to teach us different techniques and how to communicate directly when our compañeras in the villages. We was really impressed that actually the women that we're working with, they was open up and expressing themselves. The partnership with Deloitte was great. We had a lot of all of these trainings. We learned a lot. We was waiting for this structure to teach to us to move forward.
So one of the things we were able to do was deliver tools for monitoring and evaluation. We helped develop a logic model, corresponding indicators, and then a database totally in Spanish where HSP and AMA's community facilitators could enter the information that they need to show that their programs are working and truly transforming the lives of women. Something that they knew and we saw, but that couldn't yet be measured.
One of the most rewarding experiences for me was to actually see this program happen. As a leadership team, we've been working on this for about 2 years, and it has had its ups and downs and its challenges. And to see it actually happen, and to see our practitioners do it with such humility and kindness and compassion was a special moment. And, when we landed off the plane, I had to pinch myself just to remember that it was actually real.
I was very, very proud of our analysts and consultants in the way that they conducted themselves in a new and unique environment. They acted with humility, with professionalism, and with great compassion in working with our NGO leadership, the NGO staff, as well as the Mayan women in the community.
There are some things that transcend barriers like culture and language that connect us as humans, and those things are compassion, kindness, humility, and I'm really proud that I've gotten a chance to work with people both from Deloitte and also from Guatemala who share and who exemplified those ideals.
At the end of it all, I really feel like I've come back to Deloitte and come back to my normal everyday life, a totally different person. I'm able to bring something new to my client setting, a different way of interacting with people, and then I'm able to bring something different and something new that improves my personal life, and then how the personal and professional life meshes together.
I am living this week with all these great people that came to Guatemala. It's a sign that we are not only focused on doing great business in our quality in the marketplace, we are also committed to help our communities to be better, to help countries to be better, and that is part of our responsibility as citizens of the world and citizens of our country. So I encourage you to continue, because you are making the change worldwide, and thank you for choosing Guatemala, and please be sure that we are going to replicate what you are doing during this week. Thank you very much.
The team and what they've accomplished and the impact that we have, that now we've gotten feedback from all the different people and groups we worked with in Guatemala, as well as just the individual team members that I've spoken to afterwards. I'm incredibly passionate about the power of the D2 International Program and what it was able to accomplish.
Que sí lo lograron, porque sí vi cómo está su estado de ánimo y su entusiasmo de estar compartiendo con cada una de nosotras, y gracias por no utilizar términos muy grandes, ya que nuestro nivel de estudio aquí o nivel académico es muy bajo, pero gracias por hacer entender las cosas como queremos entender.
From the firm side, and the development of our talent was an incredible learning experience for myself. So we had practitioners that were engaged with the nonprofit for a little bit more than 3 months, that were able to connect with our firm leaders to understand different concepts on innovation and diversity inclusion to apply to a social context. And our practitioners have been applying that now to the clients that they serve. And we're using that research and discovery on how we can better serve our clients. From the social standpoint, that's where it's exciting. And we were addressing specifically 4 business challenges. We did some good old-fashioned manual labor, built 9 cook stoves for some of the local communities, and had just some great feedback in terms of the impact. And I'd love to share this email that we got from the executive director of the nonprofit, because it encapsulates a lot of what our exchange was. Russ, I wanted to share a comment from the women about D2I. They were talking in the office of how the women in the community were amazed by how humble and competent D2 International was. They showed that people could engage in Western culture without losing their souls. Most of all, they were impressed that the D2I International people were considered what was most important in the Mayan culture, which is love. I do not have the capacity of language to express what an impact the D2 International team has on these women. More than anything, the confidence that many of them gained from just being treated like a human being. And for us, those are incredibly nice words, but for us, it just shows how much of a learning experience it was for our practitioners to be engaged with people who have done this work for years and been with this community and understand that context.